Hey legends, welcome back to day 3 of the 2026 Kickoff Challenge. Hope you are doing absolutely amazing. So let's get straight into it. We're going to carry on the idea of the skill set. If you're new, this is the first video that you're watching and you missed out on day 1 and day 2. Then day 1 we talked about the mindset. Day 2, 3, and 4 we talk about skill set. And then day 5 we're talking about action set. And the idea is for you to build an asset from your network marketing business with the right mindset, the right skill set, and the right action set. All right, get those things right, and there's no reason why you can't win. And this is like really to kind of kick off your 2026 if you haven't already gotten started or you haven't gone all in just yet. I hope by now you're getting a feeling of some ideas, some energy, some momentum, some wins that you've been getting as bingo moments, whatever that might be. Today, we're going to talk about social media. Yesterday, we talked more about the repeatable basics. In day 1, we talked about the internal versus the external game. And today, we're obviously going to do social media. But before I do that, again, if you haven't already done so, make sure you check out the action pass. You can click the green button somewhere above. I think it may be a yellow button down below as well. Now, the action pass really quickly is you get full access to all of the recordings from these 5 days. So day 1 all the way through day 5, you get access to those. For a long time as well. I don't know the exact amount of time, but we call it lifetime access. The second thing is you're going to get access to the live Q&A session that's happening on Friday at 6 p.m. UK time. And if you can't make it live, then you're going to get access to the recording of that as well. We'll answer as many questions as we can to bring absolute clarity. And then my favorite part is you're going to be invited to join the 30-day run that starts on the 2nd of February. For 30 days, right, you're going to join a Telegram group. I'm going to be posting videos in there, daily action steps, Monday to Friday, throughout the whole duration of the 30-day run. We're also going to have group accountability. I'm going to ask you to do and to track a small number of things that will move your business forward. And then obviously we're going to be in the right environment as well to do that. Now, the last thing before we get into this, and this is an important topic today, is you'll see down below this video, there's a blue button that says get your Dare to Dream live event ticket or live ticket. Dare to Dream is my annual event. The idea of Dare to Dream was to only have like 100 or 200 people every year, very intimate group of people. The first 2 years went to plan, right? We had 120 people at those 2 events here in Dubai. Then we moved it to Turkey and we had 600 people last year attend. This year, 16th, 17th, and 18th, we have over 1,500 people who bought a ticket in the first 8 days, which meant that it sold out. But we are doing live streams and we're translating into Spanish, German, Italian, and Romanian. So if you're someone out there who wants to be in the room virtually with the idea that you want to come to the in-person event happening in 2027, when we first announced the event tickets, then you can click the blue button and you will see that it's only $47 US. And that price is going up to 97 on the 2nd of February. So from the 2nd of February onwards, a Dare to Dream live stream ticket will be 97 US dollars. So yeah, if you're someone who knows, think about it this way, right? The Dare to Dream is the Oscars of the movie world. If you have the ambition to be an award-winning actor or an award-winning actress, you've got to go to the Oscars, right? And Dare to Dream is our version of that. All right? Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll get into this. Okay, network marketing goes in 4-year cycles. It does something like this, right? So every 4 years, there's an era, right? Called a cycle. I call it a cycle or an era. So much so that if I was in a room full of 1,000 people and I said, hey, stand up or put your hand up if you've been involved in the business for less than 4 years, 95+% of people will put their hand up. If I say, hey, now sit down or put your hand down, now put your other hand up if you've been involved in the business for more than 4 years, a tiny percentage of people will put their hand up. Why? Every 4 years when the cycle changes, something happens that should wipe you out of the business. And if you stick with it, you usually stick with it for a very long time. Now, in 2010, we had the hustle era, right? Everyone was just working their ass off. Then 2014, we had the social media era where people were starting to use social media. 2018, we had the influencer era. 2022, we had the micro-influencer era. And now, 2026, which is where we're at now, we have what I call the trust era. Now, the great thing about trust is actually a super simple thing to understand. Trust is an equation. Truth plus time equals trust. Truth plus time equals trust. And trust can either go up or it can go down, right? How do you lose trust? It's very, very simple. You want to lose someone's trust? Change. Change things. Change what you're excited about, change your job, change your company, change your partner, change your style, change your accent, change your thoughts, change your beliefs, change your actions, change your messaging on social media, change your system, whatever. The more you change, people start to trust you less, because if you have to change, it means the thing you were doing doesn't work. And if the thing you doesn't work and you're telling people that it does, you're not telling the truth, and therefore people don't trust you. So let's get smart. How do we build trust? Very, very simple. It's actually super simple to build trust. Repeat or repetition. They say repetition is the mother of all skill. Repetition is the mother of all skill. Repetition is the mother of all skill. They don't just say it because it sounds cool. Repetition is the mother of all skill because above all else, it builds trust. Pick one book and repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Tell your team to only read 1 of 5 books, right? And just keep repeating it and repeating it. You know what always makes me like mind blown is when I watch a movie or I meet someone who says, in the Bible, in chapter 3, verse 12, Peter says, la, 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 la. And I'm like, how do you not only know exactly what they say, but who said it, what page it's on, what verse it is, what chapter it is? Why? Because they've read the Bible hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. So we have to build trust in the marketplace by repeating and repeating and repeating. The only problem is social media is very, very overwhelming. If you think about it, right? When I started on social media in 2009, before I knew anyone who had success on social media, you used to use MySpace and MSN Messenger and Skype. And there was one way of doing things, the way that worked. It was super simple. And then all these different platforms came out, as well as all the different features of the platform. And now this is what happens, right? Like, think about it this way, and maybe you've experienced this, and it'll all make sense, and you'll finally go, oh my God, I get it. So you're building your business. This is you. And you've decided that you're going to use Facebook. And you start getting some traction on Facebook, you're having conversations, you're making some posts. And then you go to an event and you see this person speaks on stage talking about how they use TikTok. So you go, ooh, I'll start using TikTok too. So you start using TikTok, and now you've got to do two platforms. And then you go to another event and this person talks about how they're starting to get success with Instagram. So you go, oh, wow, that's amazing. That's why I'm not winning. So you start building on Instagram. And then you go to another event, whether it's a company event, generic event, whatever it might be, and you hear someone else saying, oh, no. I know you all love these platforms, but if you've ever been in corporate, you need to use LinkedIn like me. So you're like, oh my God, that's me. And this continues. The more tactics that you hear, the more you're likely to change. The more you change, the less you trust. So here's the message. Remember yesterday I said, make $1 million my way and then go make $1 million your way. This is what we need to do. We need to first and foremost pick one platform. Okay. Then we need to have one offer. Then we need to have one message to eventually earn 1 million. After that, you can then go and change everything. If you're someone out there who is on all the platforms talking about all the different things, sharing all these different messages, and you haven't made $1 million yet, that's got to change. So pick a platform. Do you want to do Facebook? Do you want to do TikTok? Do you want to do Instagram? Or do you want to do LinkedIn? Obviously, there's YouTube and all the other ones. We're just going to stick with those 4. Now, here's what I've realized over the years. Generally, anyone who is under 40 is more materialistic. Now, again, this is like, I'm under 40 and I'm not materialistic, but like just bear with me on social media. So if I want to communicate with 20-something-year-olds who are single, no kids, then usually I need like the handbag, the Rolex, the car, the house, right? That the really exotic like lifestyle, like traveling business class. That's what gets those people excited. Now, if I've got kids and maybe I'm 40 plus, then I switch from materialistic to meaningful. So if I see all those fancy things, I'm like, yeah, it's a waste. No, it's a waste of money. But if I see someone post a photo with them and their entire family, right? So them, their partner, their 2 kids, the grandparents from both sides of the family, like, and it's a post saying like, so excited that I've been able to pay for us all to go to the Maldives for 2 weeks. I'm like, wow. So be strategic with where you believe your audience is, not based on what's being successful from other people on the stages. Because you might go to the event and be like, well, I'm 52 and I see that this woman is building on TikTok and she's only 22. So you're then like, it's just a big conflict from the beginning. So pick a platform. Now, over the years, statistically, Facebook has been the best for recruiting. TikTok's been the best for getting customers. Instagram's been the best for branding, which can obviously lead to different routes. And then LinkedIn's been the best for people who are being in corporate or who have a profession. So pick accordingly. All right. Now, once you've done that, you then need one offer. You then need one offer. Let me tell you this, very direct, very straight, very honest, very truthful. You don't suck at network marketing. Your offer does. You're not terrible at network marketing, but what you're selling is horrendous. Why? I'm not saying that your product's bad, your business opportunity is bad. I'm actually saying quite the opposite. Because there are so many people trying to sell the same thing you just get stuck in the noise. You've got to stand out. How do you do that? Understanding that in network marketing, one of the most common objections is it's too expensive. Think about it. Have you ever heard that? If you haven't heard that, you've not spoken to enough people yet, right? So think about it. You have let's say you've got a health and wellness drink, right? And you're trying to sell it and people are like, ooh, you're trying to charge $50 for a month's supply. I can get it at the supermarket for $30. It's too expensive. Your answer to that would be, compared to what? And they would then say, well, compared to the supermarket. Yeah, but let me guess. You go to the supermarket, you pick it up, you go to the cashier, you give £30, $30, €30, and they say, thank you very much, have a great day. If you're lucky, sometimes they're polite, sometimes they're not, who knows, right? So you're then like, okay, you go home, and now you've got to figure out how to use the product, how much of it you should use, when you should do it. With us, you're going to pay a little bit extra, but we're going to tell you exactly when to use it, how to use it, and what and why to use it. We're going to invite you to a community of people who are talking about all the results that they've had and going to keep you in the game. We're going to have an accountability group as well, and you're going to be able to come to an event at least once a year where you're going to see other people who are on the same mission as you to lose weight. Then $20 extra a month. That's a no-brainer to be able to do all those things. So you have to have one offer, and usually this is, are you going to lead with the product? Are you going to lead with the business? Or are you going to lead with the system? Right? Pick one. You need focus. Focus everywhere creates momentum nowhere, but focus in one area creates momentum in that area. Now the message, we'll talk about the message, right? And then obviously 1 million is pretty straightforward, okay? The message. Here's our pyramid, right? We love pyramids in network marketing, okay? The first one is who needs you? Who needs your help, right? Now remember, I said this yesterday, you are the most qualified person in the world to help the person who you used to be. If you see my keynote from loser to legend, I talk about the journey of when you got started. You are like, oh, you know, I'm a loser. I've got no one. All my friends don't want me to do this. I've got 0 customers, 0 team members, 0 idea of what I'm doing. When you get to the other side of, when you go from loser land to success land, you become a legend. And you never remove the L from your head. You just go back to where you started. And remember, I was a loser once. Now you see me as a legend, but let me take you back to the beginning. Too many people talk about themselves today instead of realizing, whoa, 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 the most important part of the story you'll ever have is the very beginning, because they can relate to that. They'll be inspired by where you are today, but they'll relate to where you used to be because they are where you used to be too. So who needs you? Very, very, very simple. Your who is you. So write down a list of all the things that makes you you. Are you male or female? Married or single? Kids or no kids? What do you like? What are you interested in? Right? You need to be aware of it. Otherwise, if you can't be aware of who needs you, like, how are you going to help people who need you? All right. Next one. What do they want? What did you want when you first started? Crazily enough, I wanted $300 a month. That's what I wanted. Why? Because I felt that $300 a month, in 3 years, I will have made $10,000 from this network marketing thing. And I can take that $10,000 and I can pay off my student loans. I'll be debt free and I'll have a good job from my degree and an extra $300 a month, which means every year I could go on a fairly decent holiday or two. That's what I wanted. So already I've got, okay, who needs you? I used to be a student. So I help students to make money online. I help students to follow a system to pay off their student debt. Or I help mums to earn an extra income so you don't feel guilty going to the salon spending €100 to get your hair done, for example. The third point is how to help them. How do you help them? Now, again, this is the product or the business or the system. So in our example here, I help students to pay off their student loan using our proven system. I help mums to earn money with our amazing business. I help travel lovers to travel more for less using our amazing product, our amazing travel platform, right? That is the repeatable message that you use over and over and over again on one platform to promote the one offer. I hope this is bringing some clarity, because you know what? There's 2 people that you need to recruit on social media. And if you recruit these 2 people, you will recruit thousands, right? That's thousands of people, right? If you recruit these 2. And I bet, if you've not heard me say this before, I bet you could guess 10 times and you wouldn't guess either of these 2. Because it's very obvious, but it kind of feels like a trick question. The first most important person that you have to recruit on social media is yourself. You got to make a decision. Am I prepared to stand out of the crowd, to be an easy target for people to hate on in order for me to build my business? If the answer is yes, prove it. Prove it. Go and create 1,000 pieces of content. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. The second person you need to recruit is the algorithm. Because if you can recruit yourself by making that decision, and then you can recruit the algorithm to show your stuff into more people, then you're going to win. Here's the simplicity of the algorithm. People ask me this all the time, because 2018, I became somewhat of a Facebook algorithm expert, and obviously the algorithms are all pretty much ran off the same thing, right? They all learn from the same one. And what I realized was, imagine that the algorithm took your phone and said to you, excuse me, can you go onto your profile, please? And you go onto Instagram or whatever platform you're building, and you go, there it is. And they go, and just scan it. They see all the posts and they just go, are they able to tell who you help, what you help them with, and how you help them? If the answer is no, because you talk about 72 different things, then your reach is always going to be terrible. But if you consistently talk about the same thing over and over and over and over again on your feed, you will recruit the algorithm, because the algorithm will go, that's that Frazer guy. He helps network marketers. So every network marketer, when they go into the Explore feed, is going to see one of Frazer's posts because it's relevant. And relevance keeps people on the platform. Relevance and attention. If you go into the Explore feed and you're like, why have I just got a load of chickens? I don't like chickens. Why are they? You leave the platform, you go somewhere else. You go to a place that's more relevant for you. Okay? So you got to recruit yourself and you got to recruit the algorithm. How'd you do that? Repetition. Surprise, surprise. Okay. Now, you've established who needs you, your who is you, and what do they want and how to help them. Now, you're already thinking, but I want to talk about loads of things. You talk about one thing in the feed, right? The feed being the grid on Instagram or the wall on Facebook. You talk about one thing here. And then in the stories, the stories that are across the top, this is where the mess is. This is where you talk about everything. You talk about everything in the stories. If you're talking about fashion tips for mums here, yeah, you're talking about fashion tips for mums in the grid, right? Fashion tips for mums, fashion tips for mums. Hey, if you're a mum who's tired of not fitting in the clothes, then I can help you, right? Then in the stories, you're going to talk about, hey, mums, just got back from watching the Formula One. It's amazing. You should go. Hey, mums, this is my recommended bottle of wine for those nights where the kids drive you crazy. Hey, mums. So you're always talking to mums, but you're just talking about everything you want, right? It's got to be so obvious. Otherwise, the algorithm is going to screw you over. And so it should. You're not being shadow banned. You're just confusing the algorithm. All right. Now, what's the most important thing about the content that you create? What is 90% of the value? What's 90% of the value of the content you create? The hook. Let's talk about hooks for a minute. So, some of you guys obviously have followed me because I've trained more people on social media in network marketing than anyone else. I think I've helped more people get results on social media than anyone else in the network marketing space. I also probably have taught more people about AI than anyone else. We've done like 6 workshops and challenges, had thousands, tens of thousands of people, probably close to 100,000 people attend them all. So people come to us for help. And a lot of people use ChatGPT. But what I will tell you is Claude, for this sort of stuff, Claude.ai is better than ChatGPT. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Claude.ai and you're going to tell Claude.ai everything that you've established here. And if you haven't got everything established here, go on to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is better for this than Claude is for this bit, and go to ChatGPT. Frazer Brookes has challenged me to answer these 3 things to create my brand message. Who needs me? Or who needs my help? What do I help them with? Or what do they want my help with? Or what do they want? And how do I help them? Right? Obviously, tell it about your network marketing business and stuff, and it will create some ideas and you can brainstorm. Once you've got that, you go into Claude.ai, right? And you tell it, these are my things. I would like to create some hooks. And it will create hooks. And then what you're going to do is you are going to do, if you choose to, what I call the 1,000 post challenge. This is where you are going to create 1,000 posts all around the one message on your feed. Now, if you post it to TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, that doesn't count as 3. That counts as 1. Why? Because I told you to count 1 platform. Now, if you've got a full-time business in network marketing and you're making all your tens of thousands of dollars every single month, then great, you can be on all the platforms. But remember, 1 platform, 1 message, 1 offer, 1 million. So you're going to go and you're going to do the 1,000 post challenge, which means, and by the way, before you're like, oh my God, no, I'm not doing that. By about day 100, you will, so by day 100, you will have the confidence, you'll have the skill, you'll know exactly what to do. You will know, you'll have like some certainty around you'll have some certainty around what works because you've tested so many different things. You will have 1 to 5 bangers This is by day 100 if you've done at least one a day, right? You'll have 1 to 5 bangers. Bangers are basically outliers, right? So if every one of your posts gets like this, and then one gets here, this is a banger, right? An outlier. And then you'll also have repeatable content. Repeatable content. I think that's how you say it. Repeatable. Yep. Whoops. So what you then do is the next 100 posts, you go into Claude.ai, you tell Claude, hey, I had 5 posts that outperformed all the others. These were the scripts that you helped me with, because it won't just help you with the hooks, it'll help you with the scripts. Can you create some more? Right? But also, you will take those 5 posts that have done well and you will repost them. Before you know it, you don't need to create any new content because you know exactly what works every single time. You use a certain hook with a certain story, with a certain call to action, and you win. Social media is a game of repetition. Recruit yourself, recruit the algorithm, and then guess what happens? You repeat, you repeat, you repeat, you repeat. It's not difficult, but most people seem to make it difficult. Now, I've got one more tip with this, but before I do that, please do not forget, if you haven't already done so, when the countdown timer hits 0, day 3 is lost forever unless you have got your action pass. So in order to get the action pass, you click the green button below, above, or I think maybe a yellow button below. You'll be able to check it out. It's a super affordable price. You get access to the recordings of the 5 days. You get the access to the live Q&A session that happens on Friday, the 30th of January at 6 p.m. UK time. And if you can't make it, you get the recording of it. And then you can join us on the 2nd of February for 30 days, a 30-day run that we're doing in a Telegram group where I am messaging every single day, Monday to Friday, with a daily action step, a daily lesson. I'll also give you some accountability. So there'll be like a group accountability, and it'll be a super positive environment where we'll try and give some prizes away for the people who do what they know they should be doing to get the rewards that they should be getting if they do the right work, right? Which we're gonna get. All right, I'm gonna push you to make it happen. All right. So again, click the button, make a decision whether that's for you or not. And also, you'll see the blue button below this video. That is just a reminder for you to get the Dare to Dream live streaming ticket before the 2nd of February, because on the 2nd of February, the price goes right up to $97. It like doubles, more than doubles in price. Do not pay double. Please, please, please pay just $47 US for a ticket that people are paying $900 to be in the room. All right, you're gonna absolutely love the live stream experience. We go above and beyond to make it a little bit different to what you're used to as well, and it'll be translated into Italian, Romanian, Spanish, and German. All right, so the last thing here with social media, obviously. You're picking the platform, the offer, the message. This is the message. These are people you need to recruit. The hooks. Don't be afraid to use AI to create your scripts. And then what you can do on Instagram, this works really well on Instagram, but you can do it for Facebook. Use the app called Edits. And when you click on Edits, let me start a new project here. It will come up like this. If you click this button, you can click Camera. And on the right hand on here, you'll see it says teleprompter. So if you click on teleprompter, it then says add your script here. So you can copy and paste from the script that you create. I'm going to go, hey, legends, hope you're loving this challenge so far. If you're enjoying it, be sure to tell the world in your stories. Remember, people love people who are on a growth journey. Sorry for sounding like an idiot. There we go. So now it's going to appear there. When I hit the record button, you'll see the teleprompter move. Hey, legends, hope you're loving this challenge so far. If you're enjoying it, be sure to tell the world in your stories. Remember, people love people who are on a growth journey. And notice that the script is very close to the camera, so it doesn't look. If you're looking at it like this, people are going to see. But if you're holding your camera like this, they're not really going to notice, especially if you're on a slight angle like that. If you're like dead on, they'll be able to tell. But if you're on a slight angle, they won't. Don't be afraid to use teleprompters with a script. It's totally fine to get in the flow. right? And then eventually you don't need the script. Okay? So I hope you got value from that. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about our last bit of skill set, which is going to be a lot about selling and recruiting before we then go on to day 5 where we wrap things up with big time action set. All right? Big love to you all. Don't forget to check out the Action Pass and the Dare to Dream live stream ticket. It'll be well worth your time. Otherwise, I would not mention it. And I'll see you on day 4. All right? Kisses. Ciao.